Hey there, everybody. So, this is my first YouTube video, and I just wanted to start it off by telling everybody a little bit about myself and why I've decided to do this. I have been doing some videos on Facebook and on Facebook for a couple of years now. And I just recently started doing videos on Instagram, but I've always wanted to do a YouTube video. And it's kind of funny how I decided to do this. I had to reset my whole phone, and everything got erased. So I had to create a new YouTube channel and things like that. And I mean, why not? So basically, what I'm going to be talking about is intestinal conditions. I know it's not something that a lot of people talk about. That's why I wanted to make a video, and that's why I wanted to basically share my journey on what I've been going through. So, for those of you who are interested in something a little bit different, I hope you continue to watch this, and if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to put a question in the comments or anything. So, first off, my name's Maria. I am 39 years old. Thank God I'm 39 years old. And I have 5 different intestinal conditions that have basically happened ever since I was 15. So the first condition that I have is called volvulus. For those of you who do not know what volvulus is, disclaimer. Let me do a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I am not a physical therapist of any kind. I am only speaking about what I have personally gone through and what I am going through and the treatment that I am going through. So whatever may work for me may not work for you. But again, if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But again, it's just personally based off of my experience over the 24 years that I've had this condition. Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. I have a condition called volvulus. And what volvulus is that it's a condition that your intestines twist themselves. A lot of children, normally, if anyone has volvulus, it's normally when they're born. It's something that gets caught when they're born. I actually started to get that when I was 14 years old. Um, the way that they found out that I had it is I was cramping really bad, and I had a very heavy menstrual cycle, and after my 15th birthday, I was telling my mom, I was like, look, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm bleeding real heavily, this, that, and this. And at first they just kind of thought it was menstrual cycles, or menstrual cramps. But the doctor was like, no, you know your body. If you're not feeling well, let's get you in for an ultrasound. They thought I had a cyst on my fallopian tube, but it turns out that my left fallopian tube was twisted like a water hose, and it had retained so much fluid that there was scar tissue that was actually forming on my fallopian tube and attaching to my abdominal wall. Um, they ended up having to take out my left fallopian tube at 15 years old. And that, of course, was a very hard blow because automatically the chances of me being able to have children were completely cut in half. Um, Fast forward to a couple months after that, um, it was just like after one surgery, it just kind of went downhill. I got more scar tissue. Um, the inflammation of my intestines were just horrible. And I mean, I'll talk more about that in other videos. I just kind of want to give you the rundown now. The second condition that I have is irritable bowel syndrome. So a lot of people know about irritable bowel syndrome. Actually, more than half the population, somebody has some type of IBS that they suffer with. However, with mine, it is so advanced that I'm on several medications for it. But basically what IBS is, it causes constipation. It also causes diarrhea. It also causes a lot of inflammation. Very, very uncomfortable, especially when, you start to get the bubble guts and things like that. So just imagine all that, but it hits me about 5 times harder. The third condition that I have is called diverticulitis. Diverticulitis is when polyps are actually formed on the intestinal lining. When somebody has diverticulitis, they are not able to eat certain things that have seeds or shells or anything like that, because the seeds and the shell can actually stick to the polyps that are on your intestine, and it can cause bad bacteria to grow at a rapid rate, which also causes painful inflammation. It causes constipation, just all of those things like that. Now, the thing is with diverticulitis, normally if somebody has a condition, they only have the polyps that are from the inside out. I have them inside as well. So I have a double case of it. I was diagnosed with diverticulitis back in 2014. So it's still fairly new to me, but I've had to change. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually laying down. I have to sit a certain way. Okay. Let me get comfortable again. Um anyway, um I lost what I was talking about. Okay, I remember. So the diverticulitis is, like I said, I have it inside it out, and I was diagnosed with that in 14. But when you have to change your diet, I mean, it's your whole lifestyle. It's just boom, everything that you've known is just no longer there, because the things that you have loved to eat your whole life is just taken away. So it kind of sucks. But the next intestinal condition that I have is, okay, so I've already told you about my diverticulitis, my irritable bowel syndrome, my volvulus. Okay. So the next condition that I have is actually called colitis. Now, the colitis I was just recently diagnosed with in oh, excuse me, 2 months ago, actually, June the 15th, June the 10th is when I was diagnosed with colitis. And what colitis is that it's inflammation of the colon. Um, it's that's exactly what it sounds like, and I really can't explain it. All I know, it's very painful. The way that I was diagnosed was I wasn't able to eat. When I started to eat, I could get maybe like 3 bites in, and my body would just reject the food, and I would just throw it up. And the little food that I was able to keep down, I couldn't properly digest it because the swelling in my colon and the colitis actually triggered a reaction with the diverticulitis. And then it was just, I mean, I looked huge. When I have an inflammation, when I have basically their contractions is what my stomach has. Women, those of you who've had children, I've never had children, but contractions, you know how painful they are. Mine always are at the top level. I go from being in pain like from a number 6 to a number 9 within seconds. So the colitis just adds to that, and because of the swelling that it does, my body tries to fight it even a little bit more to make it function. And that's That's pretty crazy. The fifth condition that I have, I was also recently diagnosed with this past year, is called diaphragmatic restriction. Now, the thing with diaphragmatic restriction, anybody who's had surgery can get this. And basically, what it is, it's, like when you have a surgery or if you cut yourself, you have that skin that grows over, and those are called adhesions, which is basically new skin, a little bit thicker, a little bit, like protectant skin. Well, since I've had a total of 12 surgeries on my stomach, okay? Let me say that too. 12 surgeries on my stomach from the age of 15 to the age of 24. And the diaphragmatic restriction is basically uh, scar tissue building on top of scar tissue, and it's calcifying, so it makes everything in my abdominal area and everything in my core very tight. Normally your diaphragm, will be like this to where it can move and it can go like this. Mine is not stuck, but it is not very easy to move. I guess you could say it that way. But the reason why I wanted to do a YouTube video and things about it is because when I was younger, of course, I had my amazing mother who was there. Excuse me. Also, forgive me if I burp or anything like that. That's actually a really bad side effect that I have. I have a lot of gas, to be very honest with you. And I mean, that's okay. So that's why I wanted to do this video, because diverticulitis, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, volvulus, diaphragmatic restriction. People don't talk about it. People don't talk about their bowel movements. People don't talk about their stomach. Now, when I was 15 years old, like I said, I was very blessed to have, my mother. She was there every surgery, every doctor's appointment, everything like that. But I really didn't have anybody to talk to about what I was going through. I mean, I was able to speak with her, of course, but I feel now that I'm 39 years old, when the doctors thought I would have been dead at the age of 17, and then they're like, "Oh no, you're going to survive to 21." And then I surpassed that. I had a full hysterectomy at the age of 24, and again, I'm 39 years old now, and I thank God that I'm still alive. But it's not easy to talk about, and it's really scary when you don't know what your body is going through. And I just hope that this video reaches people who may be going through some digestive problems or things along that nature that they just don't know who to talk to about. And I've been through physical therapy. Um, I've I have a tilted pelvis also, so I now just started using a walker actually about 4 days ago, which is a really, really, really hit to my ego. I mean, I know that sounds kind of bad, but I've been independent my whole life. I started working when I was 14, and only until this past January have I not been able to work. So it's August now. So this is the first time in, you know, 20, 20 some odd years that I'm not able to be independent for myself. I'm working on getting stronger. I'm working on getting my balance back. I have physical therapy treatments that I do here at home, but my balance and my stability is just so off because of how bad my intestines are. When I had my hysterectomy at the age of 24, they told me that it may be a possibility that my intestines could drop into that area of my abdomen because it was just an empty space. There was, at first there was a uterus. Even though I only had one fallopian tube, I still had both of my ovaries. But the scar tissue was so bad that it had literally attached itself to my female organs, pushed them, like pulled them into the back of my abdomen, and it was just a really, really bad thing. My doctor was very happy that I decided to go ahead and go through the surgery, because if not, my intestines basically would have suffocated themselves, and I could have had a really, really bad bowel obstruction, or I could have died from my intestines basically eating themselves. So I see I'm coming up on the 15-minute mark. I don't want it to be too long, but I hope, again, this video goes out there to anybody who's going through some medical problems, anything like that. I am also a cervical cancer survivor. I am very blessed that the doctors caught it when they did. They actually found it during my 5th surgery. So, I've had quite a journey, and this is the worst that I've ever been in my life. Um, but I'm going to keep fighting for it because I want to live. And I hope you guys will like to listen to my stories. Until next time, God bless you guys. Don't be afraid to talk about poop. Don't be afraid to talk about your stomach or your bowels. And yeah, see you next time. Peace and love, guys. Bye.